Hello and welcome, my favorite movement enthusiasts. Today we have something very special planned for you. There are a couple of positions that every single person, no matter what their fitness goal, be it calisthenics, hypertrophy, cardio, or whatever it is, they should still learn these positions because they are going to help them advance their fitness goals immensely, as well as keep them all round fit. And today we're going to get into those, and we're going to have a couple of variations too. So even if you are still a bloody beginner, you can start with all of these positions. So if you are ready, we'll get into them right now. If you've been here before, then the first one is not going to surprise you. It is the deep squat position. Now, most people cannot get into a deep squat, especially if we do it the way I want you to learn it, with your shoulders on the inside, so we can open up our arms, push our legs backwards, and have a nice little stretch in the insides of our hips as a bonus or an extra. We're also getting a lot of spinal flexion, rounding of the spine, and that is going to be very helpful for the coming exercises. So if you cannot get into a classic squat position, which is your femur parallel to the ground or lower as to grass, then you can start by elevating your heels. And what that does is it helps you sit down lower into the squat. So even if you can only go this far, just by elevating your heels, you're already going to be able to go parallel to the ground. And with time, you're going to be able to sit down all the way. The more relaxed and the more stretched you are in your hip flexors and your quadriceps, as well as in your gastrocnemius, soleus, and Achilles tendon, because those are the ones that keep you from going into this smaller angle here, which brings us down into a very deep squat position. So our levels go as follows. 1, we are gonna look for a wall. We're gonna sit back here. We're gonna bend here in our knees, and we're gonna try and go lower and lower and lower, as low as we can. Number 2, we're gonna start out with our feet closer to the wall and try again, see how low we can go from here. And then you're gonna notice at some point, depending on the lack of mobility you have, your heels are gonna start raising because you can't sit down all the way. And this is where the elevation comes into place. We're gonna place our heels higher than our toes, which is gonna allow us to go into the full deep squat position. Over time, we're gonna be able to do the same thing flat on the ground. And once we are here, now we can actually start working on our deep squat mobility. Pull your shoulders in as close as you can. When opening your arms, you are using them to push your legs backwards, like so, and you're bringing your head down as far as you can to go into full spinal flexion. Hold for a couple of seconds, relax, come up, and repeat. Now our second position is going to be the hang, and we have 2 different types of hang: the passive hang and the active hang, and we're going to go through both of them because both of them have different benefits. So we're going to start out through the passive hang. All we need to do for this one is basically grab on to a bar, and we want to hang fully relaxed. What this is going to do, decompression, starting in your hand, moving down through your elbow, your shoulder joints. You can see our rotator cuff is being pulled apart. Our spine is getting a full decompression, being pulled apart, especially our lumbar spine, which is going to be very helpful for people who sit for prolonged periods of time. And we have a little bit of decompression in our knees as well. Now, if you do not have the strength to passively hang for 30 to 60 seconds, then you can start with putting any kind of elevation below your feet. So every now and then you can just relax a little bit and go back into your passive hang. Hold as long as you can. We want to get to a point where we can hold on for 30 to 60 seconds. 60 seconds is really what I think should be the minimum everyone should be able to hold on. So over time, you're gonna get there. Now, the second one, the active hang, totally different benefits, also very, very amazing. The difference here is when we go into a passive hang, we have scapular elevation and slight upward rotation. And to get into an active hang, what we need to do is depress our scapula, pull it down. We still want to keep our arms extended, so no bend here, but we want to pull our shoulder blades down all the way. Now, for one, this is giving us a lot of scapular control and stability. But what that also does is, especially again for people who sit for very prolonged periods of time, who over time develop this forward slouch posture, this is going to help you get out of this and extend your upper body to the way it should be. Now, our final move here is a little bit more advanced, but there are a couple of ways we can get into the bridge over time with just one or two slight extra exercises. They're going to make this a lot easier to get into, and we're basically stretching our entire anterior chain while strengthening the entire backside. To do that, we have a couple of ways to stretch out first before we get into this very advanced movement. So for number one, we're just gonna sit down like so. We're gonna put our hands on our heels. We're gonna push forward all the way. Now, if you're not feeling any sort of stretch here, you may move down on your elbows. If there is still no stretch, you may move down on your back all the way. And if there is still no stretch, you're gonna start pushing up to get more of a pull in your hip flexors and your quadriceps. Now, this is exercise number one for the bridge pose. Now, while the last exercise was more focused on our quadriceps and our hip flexors and lower abdominals, with this one, we're going to focus more on our shoulders and chest to go into that nice thoracic extension that is going to help us get more and deeper into a bridge position. And for this one, all we need is some kind of weight and anything we can lay on with our upper back and shoulders, because we're going to use a passive stretch this time. Basically, just use the weight to open up your chest and shoulders. Now, be sure not to just relax your arms like so, but to actually extend them and try and pull them down just a little bit. What you also can do is, instead of sitting down like so, you want to push up your pelvis for an extra stretch in your lower abs again and your hip flexors. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds, relax, take a couple of deep breaths, and bring the weight to your chest first before you sit up. Take a short break, and then you can repeat once again. Push up and pull your extended arms down towards the ground. Now, over time, you can start adding more and more and more weight, because the passive exercises, the good thing with those is that you can feel yourself into them and let most of the work be done by the weights themselves. So by mastering these three positions, I can assure you that most of your fitness goals are going to go a lot better, because your injury rate is going to be reduced a lot. You can get rid of a lot of chronic pain and pain caused by tightness and stiffness, as well as work on some things that most people struggle with, like posture and knee pain, shoulder pain, back pain, basically most of the pains that come from having too tight of a musculature. Sadly, however, that's all the time I have left for you today. If you liked the video, like the video and subscribe, because we have new videos every single day. Captain Cairo, peace out.